Hello and welcome to Matt Presents. Today's episode we are going to be talking about something that I didn't think I'd be talking about for a while, which is regeneration. And today we are looking at Jodie Whittaker's regeneration as the 13th Doctor. Now, the 13th Doctor's regeneration episode was called The Power of the Doctor, and this was back in 2022, October time. And as you can see, it was written by Chris Chibnall, and this is Chris Chibnall, if you didn't know that. Chris Chibnall is not my favourite writer of the actual show itself, which I'll get to on a later video in regards to the writers of Doctor Who. Mainly the showrunners, I will say. So yeah, this is also as well Chris Chibnall's last episode. Yasmin Khan, so that's Mandip Gill, John Bishop, who would play Dan, and as well as that we also get Kate Stewart back, Ace, Tegan, and quite a lot of older companions as well. So yeah, let's begin. So we are going to start off by talking about the forced regeneration of the 13th Doctor, which was caused by the Master. Now the Master forced the 13th Doctor to regenerate into himself because he wanted to do one thing, which is, as he said, I'm going to make today the day that the Doctor dies. And I have a feeling that when Chris Chibnall did write that, it did have a lot of sense to it, but what we got was the Master Doctor, or Doctor Master, whatever you want to call him, stood on a planet outside the TARDIS saying, I caused this, my name's the Doctor. And that's basically it. It just feels like there should have been a lot more there. Ignore that. Right, so this is what we end up with when we do get the Master Doctor themselves. An amalgamation of we've got a celery stick there, so we have got the 5th Doctor, we have got the vest of Sylvester McCoy's 7th Doctor, the scarf of the 4th Doctor, Tom Baker. It looks like we've got a tie as well. It's been a while since I've seen this episode as well, so I'm trying to remember from the picture as well. A tie, so that could have been a number of Doctors as well, but I have a feeling that that was more going for the 10th Doctor. And then obviously we have Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor's coat as well. Oh, this regeneration itself was stopped by Yaz Vinder and a hologram of the fugitive Doctor tricking the Cyber Masters, which we have got there, which are absolutely atrocious. I'll come to that later as well. Tricking the Cyber Masters into shooting the fugitive Doctor, which then kills them, which Yaz then uses the Doctor's sonic screwdriver to put it back and force the Doctor to regenerate back to herself that way. Which, yeah, that kind of works, but yeah, it doesn't really work as well because it just feels like it was stupid, in my opinion. Like, it's kind of like a filler because he sets up, like, we've got the Daleks causing an invasion of Earth. That could have gone a lot further. We've also got, why is the Master being Rasputin? Why is there a planet in the sky filled with Cybermen and Cyber Masters? 3 possible routes he could have went down, but we get a forced regeneration. We have the Daleks and the Cyber Masters all on the same side, or watching the Doctor get forced regenerated into the Master. And then we then see the Doctor. She's got the TARDIS back. They're on the actual planet of the Cyber Masters and the Cybermen. She's there to save the clonks or something like that. It's on a later slide. The quonks, that's it, which is this. The Master then pops back up at just dressed as Rasputin still. He then says, if I can't be the Doctor, then no one can. Which then the Quant actually, whilst is destroying the planet, hits the Doctor and gets carried away from Yasmin Khan. Now, I will say, whenever I do see this image of Yaz carrying the Doctor, it does make me think, why have you copied what Stephen Moffat did? And that scene just reminds me so much of when Bill Potts was turned into a Cyberman and she's carrying the Doctor on the solar farm. Well, well, I ended at that part there because that's for a later video on what I think about certain things as well. So yeah, everyone gets home safely because in the TARDIS we've got Kate Stewart, Tegan, Ace, Yaz, the Doctor, everyone else basically that way. After they all go home, the Doctor finally realises that she's regenerating. She isn't happy about it and decides to go and have ice cream with Yaz and says, I'd prefer to do this on my own. Which, in the show's point of view, is a good thing because obviously we've got the new production team of Bad Wolf coming in. But at that time as well, there was also the uncertainty, will Doctor Who continue? Which we've got at the moment. What is going on with Doctor Who at the moment? But in this scene when the Doctor says to Yaz, oh yeah, I want to do this myself, I was so happy that she wasn't going to be there. I just did not like any of the companions from the Chris Chibnall era at all. That's my point of view on that one, but yeah, everyone has a different point of view as well. After that, the Doctor then goes to the beautiful cliff top itself, stands out the TARDIS and starts her beautiful regeneration, which it is, which is a bit of a difference, which we'll get to in a minute as well, which all ends up with this man here, David Tennant, becoming once again the Doctor. So in regards to that last little part that I mentioned as well, that there was a bit of a difference. The screen won't move. Ooh, I've gone too far. Right, we'll go there. This is the difference itself. So it says on here, interior TARDIS stay. Wide. Hold on the Doctor alone in the middle of her TARDIS. She stands, looks around appreciatively. The Doctor's point of view, the TARDIS in all of its glory, from the pilot's perspective. She smiles. Ow. Oh, wow. That's for a little video as well. I will discuss about my recovery because that was just my leg giving me an awful shooting pain. And then we got the Doctor smiles and then says, look after the next one. It lands, the door opens, she looks to her hands, burning now. The Doctor continues, I'm going to take in one last sunrise. And as it does as well, we do cut to the Doctor out of the TARDIS on the cliff top as well. And she says, as she does, blossom is blossom. However, this is the difference part itself here. It says, she sits cross-legged. Right there. She sits cross-legged. As we know, the Doctor, or the 13th Doctor, stays standing during that time. So I don't know whether this was written purposely for Jodie or it got changed last minute in a way, because when Jodie was filming this, she was actually pregnant, and I don't know if sitting cross-legged would have been too much for her, so they decided to go for standing, or was it they did 2 alterations for it, and then when David Tennant came in, Russell had the final say and said, but we want Geordie standing up for this part here, mainly because it goes nice with the way David Tennant's Doctor comes in itself as well. But I will say I do prefer the way, oh, what's going on there? The way Geordie's Doctor did regenerate, standing up. It was quite a wonderful way to see the Doctor leave as well. As much as I do like the Doctors in the TARDIS regenerating, like we've had both David Tennant and Peter Capaldi in the TARDIS regenerating that violently that the TARDIS has ended up blowing up. Which is understandable, because at the end of David Tennant, which we'll come into later, as well as Peter's, they were both going into new productions. So David was going into Matt, and that was then bringing in Stephen Moffat, and then Peter's into Geordie's, which was then bringing in Chris Chibnall as well. But yeah, that brings to the end of today's video itself as well. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe today as well. And I'm Matt. I'm from Matt's Presents, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye for now.